Hi, we'll just call me Eyes this time. This is a journal from 11/18/2010. The first of that day, and the Mayan day was 7 Vulture, or wisdom. And it's called Skins of Old Lifetimes Falling Away, Integration Across Time. And I subtitled it Speaking with a Previous Incarnation. Somehow I seem to feel the skins of old lifetimes perhaps falling away. How do I mean? In this lifetime I have but one loyalty, and that is to heart. I am free of so many old constraints and restraints, old beliefs that didn't serve and have been let go. Then, too, to be born in the USA is another measure of freedom. We're rather unrestrained here. We don't acknowledge a lot of authority. Texas is maybe the best example of that free spirit, though I'm in Arkansas. So here I find myself in the midst of a good deal of at least relative freedom. Though the earth be a prison planet at present, I am relatively free. What then seems to appear as the skins of old lifetimes is the long ago tendencies developed over many lives of strong discipline, monastic focus, a more rigorous way of being. I sense the ghosts of these old tendencies to inner discipline. They put up a faint fight against the way of full freedom exercised in following heart. Faint indeed they are, but yet perceptible as they arise, almost in protest that such freedoms could be, or be safe way to tread the path homeward. It's interesting when your previous lifetimes surface like this, and you can see the contrast between the ways of being, the now and the then. What appears is that you are more illumined, perhaps now, than was the case in that other life. Thus, that one does not yet know the full power of the light you've become. That one remains to be illumined by the light of your heart, brought up to speed, so to speak. Very interesting. If there is a gentle addressing of that previous one, by the heart only, never the mind, a certain relief can come, and it can be great. It depends on the lifetime involved and on how close your attunement to that one is, as well as the strength, the power of your current light, the contrast with that earlier you. Don't kid yourself that this isn't you working with you, my friend. It may seem like another person entirely, but that's from the mind. From the heart, you will know, you will be informed that's not the case. It's quite possible to be both persons at once, to have both the sense of that one, of that earlier state, as well as maintain complete awareness of the present self. What I've sometimes found successful in bringing blessings is to, from the heart, to address that one, to say welcome and invite them into a closer look at what you've become. Let them know you are them, that you've had success in merging with light. And I just lost my place. That's interesting. Do, 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 do. Okay. This is not as an ego thing, but rather as a comforting way to bring a large measure of peace to that earlier you who was likely a seeker, if you are, was ever hungry for the light, yet perhaps never quite found it in that embodiment. Thus, to be met with a future self in which the light shines so brightly Where there's higher consciousness, this is a very great gift you can give to that aspect of self. It's a huge boon. Often I've felt all the tension just seem to drain away out of that one. I felt the intense seeking of heart of him or her just settle down and relax. Like taking a great deep sigh, the peace flows into them. Where before there seemed these borders, these boundaries between you two, now that one draws deep breath and relaxes down, melts more into you. The barriers come down. A new aspect of integration has surfaced. An old puzzle piece has finally settled down into place. These things are subtle. They're often found in the silence of heart. Not necessarily meditating, but just centered down is likely the best way to encounter them. I don't recommend setting out to do such things, seeking the experience. That's not authentic to my way of living, of viewing life, where you simply take what comes, you stay in your now. It comes when it will. I don't know, though. Don't let what I say ever form a barrier, a belief for your soul. You've got your own heart to follow. I'm just reporting on my experiences of life, hoping it's useful, that's all, in perhaps opening some eyes. Once we've seen or heard of something, often the barriers to having that experience are breached or even tumbled down. So often vision precedes experience, though not always. Many things are quite original, at least to our outer mind, though we've likely had the experience within. Yet still our current playground is so often the conscious state. I have an idea. Let's start expanding the supposed space that we occupy. Let's expand way beyond the little bodies we wear down here. Let's get really cosmic size. I've started to have a wee bit of dream recall just on awakening, and one morning I had such a fleeting experience, but a powerful one. It stays with me still. As I was arising, just for a moment, still out of body, I reached over to the sun. It felt like the dearest friend and support one could imagine. The love was intense, yet so gentle, so expansive, so present, so near. So, as I was returning to the physical form, I lovingly reached over to this dear one, the sun, a caressing thing, a sort of affectionate touch, though no real touching, an acknowledgement of the love we shared. Here's the thing, though, that was amazing. I was so huge, taking up way more than the planet size. The sun was within arm's reach, so to speak. I was half the size of the solar system. It was so very near. Nor did it seem outrageously huge, which the physical sun does to our physical planet, to the whole solar system. Yet this wasn't physical, this experience. This was energy bodies or something else. I found that closeness to that loving being so tremendously comforting. It amazed me that with a mere gesture I could reach out and touch that one. It brought deep comfort to my soul or essence, some deep part of me. I felt comforted, secure, loved. The sun felt like a gentle, loving father, so very close. We can have such fun with these things, these exercises or imaginings on our way to escaping the mental confines we've built up by believing we're human. We're physical bodies, these little tiny particle things. That's some heavy programming over lifetimes that's been laid down deep in us. So these journeys into the wave experience, beyond the physical form in our awareness, bring freedom each time. Let's remember, too, ever to focus on what we have, on what we can do, as opposed to being so persistently aware of our limitations, or supposed limitations, and let that sense of being limited go more and more, and just choose not to go there when mine does. We are breaking more and more of the chains that have bound us. We are setting the self free once again. We're waking up.